aren't familiar, an LLC stands for Limited Liability Company, and it protects you from the business's debts, lawsuits, and liabilities. Okay, so this is if your business is charged with a crime, you can help aid in your defense, help your criminal defense attorney, let them know you have an LLC, you have a business. And I know you might be thinking, well, how can a business be charged with a crime? If you have employees that are using your business to commit crimes, you can aid in your defense in saying, I did not have knowledge or an intent for them to do that, and I also have a business. I took all the proper steps to separate myself from the business, okay? And if the business is sued, which is why LLCs were created in the first place, if you have leeches, right? So my mission is to help boss women start their businesses and protect their businesses from leeches. So I actually help men, women, doesn't matter, but that's my mission, to help boss women, okay? So if you have someone that is leeching off of you, you obviously know the right things to do. You're here, it's Saturday, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here putting in the work, right? So if you have someone leeching off of your business, they realize you're making a certain amount of money, they're gonna try to sue you for whatever. Okay, like that's the easiest way to get wealth in America is by a lawsuit. But if you have an LLC, they can only sue the business. So if the business only has $1 million, but you have 10 and this person is suing you for 5, guess how much they're gonna get? Exactly, right? So you wanna protect yourself. Trademark is any word, sign, design, or expression that identifies your business and distinguishes your brand in your industry. So for instance, PCS Bootcamp, that's a trademark. Coach B, that's a trademark. Coach T, that's a trademark, right? Nike, Nicki Minaj, Foxy Brown, LL Cool J, those are all trademarks because that's how we identify those artists and those businesses, okay? So just to break it down, a trademark could be a business name, right? It could also be a product name. It could also be a program name, a logo, a sound, okay, a slogan. So we heard that someone trademarked their slogan, okay? It can also be a color and packaging. So I know when we were playing Family Feud, there was a question as to being able to trademark a sound. People do trademark sounds. So for instance, when you think about Netflix and you turn on the Netflix and you hear dun dun, that's trademark. That means that Disney Plus can't use that. HBO Max can't use that. The only company that can use that sound is Netflix, right? Again, a program name. We have a lot of coaches and speakers here. If you have a program name and you want to protect that name and keep other coaches and speakers from using that name, you're going to trademark that. And then packaging. So when you get a box from Amazon, more often than not, you don't even need to see the name. You just need to see that curved check, and you know it's from Amazon, right? So that is what a trademark is. There are 3 different types of trademarks. So there's a common law trademark, a state trademark, and a federal trademark. Today we're going to talk about federal trademarks because that's all we care about. Okay, the only time that you would get a trademark in your state is if you don't sell or market to people outside of your state, which we all know that isn't true, especially if we're on social media. I've never been to South Dakota. If somebody wants to purchase or buy from me, I'm gonna sell, right? So we only care about federal trademarks because it covers us in all 50 states, at the US border with customs, and in US territories. And the only other time I would recommend a state trademark is if what you're doing or selling is illegal on a national level. So if you're in the cannabis business, it's not legal federally yet, so you do want to get a state trademark because that's all you can do. But otherwise, state trademarks are useless, so we're just gonna go with the federal trademark for now. Okay, so why do you need a trademark? You need a trademark because it establishes official public ownership of your brand, okay? And it's really a pity as attorneys, we only meet people if they're going through something, if they have an issue. So most often than not, if people don't see the importance of a trademark before there's an issue, I hear from them when somebody that they went to high school with is using their business name or using their slogan or has stolen their logo, right? So it creates official public ownership of your brand. It also protects your brand against anyone else in your industry trying to use it. And it adds value to your business. Has anyone seen Shark Tank? right? So we always hear this question, even if we didn't realize what they were asking. What type of intellectual property does this business have, right? And there are 4 main types of intellectual property. So there's a patent, which means inventions. So if there was no such thing as a laptop and I was the first one that created it, that's a patent, okay? And there's a copyright. So this presentation, copyright, it's a creation. A book, a song, anything that I create, that's protected by copyright. And there's a trademark. So a performer name, like Rihanna, or again, Nicki Minaj, or 50 Cent, or even Get Rich or Die Trying, those are trademarks, right? And then there's trade secrets. I like to call it your secret sauce. It's really like, you know, what was Plankton trying to steal from, right. The Krabby Patty formula. It's the Krabby Patty formula. Why are people hating on you? What do your competitors want to know? Like, how does she do it? How does he do it? What makes that business unique? Right? So there are 4 different types of intellectual property. And so when they ask on Shark Tank, what type of intellectual property does this business have? They want to know, does your business own a trademark? Because it is property, and it adds to the value of your business, okay? Another reason to get a trademark is that when you're importing products, especially for designers, but if you're importing any products, you can actually register your trademark with US Customs. So when you're bringing products in, they will check to make sure that it's from you and not from someone trying to bite off of you, okay? And another reason to get a trademark is that it can make you money. That's why we're in business. Even a nonprofit, I have to say this all the time. Nonprofits, their goal is to make money. It's to, you know, serve a public cause, but it's still to make money, and how can a trademark protect you? You can use the R symbol with the circle around it. So I see a lot of people on social media get this wrong all the time. And before, when I had the time, I would DM them like, hey, that's not right. But now, like, I just know they probably don't have someone in their corner to give them the right information. But when you have a federal trademark, you can use the R with the circle around it. And this is actually on your emoji keyboard, right? If you don't have a federal trademark, you can't use that. You can actually subject yourself to civil penalties, right? And I'll show you what you can use now if you don't have a federal trademark. It gives you protection in all 50 states. So like I said, there's state trademark databases, but if you get a state trademark and say, you know, I'm really just growing slowly, a state trademark is cheaper, think about an email inbox. Like, I'm notorious for having a lot of unread emails. Terrell is even worse. He has, like, I swear, like 90,000 unread emails, right? And it's just think about clicking each email one by one to make sure that it's read, as opposed to clicking select all, read all. That's a federal trademark, right? That's a select all, read all. It covers you in all 50 states, even if you haven't, you know, really seen yourself selling to someone in California, okay? In US territories, like I said, at the border with customs, and you get to shut down usernames and domain names. Like, have you ever seen anyone trying to use your username or your social media name, or, you know, ever try to get a domain name and you see that it's unavailable? A federal trademark allows you to submit a dispute, right? To ICANN, it's called the Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers, and they're the ones who actually handle and manage domain names. So you can submit a dispute to them if you own a federal trademark. They review it, and if they agree with you, they'll give you back your domain without having to pay this leech, a cyber squatter.
Who do we go to about that?
It's called ICANN, the Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers. All right, and you get federal court protection, and this is perfect because you're entitled to statutory damages, which basically means it doesn't matter how much they made off of your trademark, how much you lost because they're using your trademark. You just need to show that you had a trademark and they tried it, okay? That's all you have to show, and you're entitled to a minimum $750 up to $150,000. Just to show that they did something wrong. And then, of course, what you lost versus what they made is added to that, okay? And then you have ownership forever, okay? So if you ever seen Love and Hip Hop, Cardi B, like, she has this clip that went viral, you know, when she turns around to DJ Self and she's like, forever. You have ownership forever. So there are people who have passed on, like Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, Prince. Their trademarks are still active. They're still making money. And honestly, they're still lapping me financially in the grave, okay? And that's because they have trademarks. And they have copyrights and intellectual property. And this is how you are able to start building passive income, because you get intellectual property and you allow other people. So if you have a coaching program, like most of us do, you can't name your coaching program the coaching program and try to trademark it, right? Because other people need to use it. Same thing here. So you don't try to translate it into another language thinking you're gonna bypass that, because while you're hearing fiesta, 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 they're hearing, when I say they're, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, they're hearing party, party, party. They're always gonna translate it back to English, so you wanna make sure that you avoid that mistake, okay? Now, one last thing that I want to share with you. 3, if it's okay. He's not paying attention, it's okay. Okay, so classes, trademark classes. Okay, when you file your trademark, you can actually have a company that already has that trademark if you're in a different industry. Okay, so for instance, right here, we have Delta Dental and Delta Airlines. Same exact name, never mind that I said Delta and Airlines, because if you have something that your competitors need to use, they actually cancel that out for the sake of your trademark. So it's really read as Delta versus Delta, because other airlines obviously need to use the term airlines, other insurance companies or dental plans need to use the term dental. All right, so just keep that in mind if you're ever doing a search. And then same thing applies for Dove. So Dove chocolate and Dove soap. You know, I'm pretty sure you've seen that before. Those are 2 different companies, right? But they're both entitled to trademarks because they're in different industries. So you just want to make sure that your audience isn't going to be confused between your business and... So when you get a trademark, how do you make money from it? First thing that you need to think about is licensing your brand, okay? So you have a trademark licensing agreement, basically allowing, for instance, other coaches to use your name in order to promote their coaching program. And you might be thinking, why would somebody want to use my name? Again, because you're putting in the work. You're here on a Saturday, you know, working on your business. If they're just starting and they see you at a certain level, they can probably bypass all of those hurdles that you had to jump over by working with you. And you can charge them, right? So you come up with the payment structure. You can charge maybe $1,000 a month, $2,500 a month, whatever it is, and then you get an attorney to enforce your rights.